It's been a long time. It feels like ages, Elisa, but time flies. So, yeah,
Yes,
it's so
exactly.
good to have you back.
Yeah, well, it's good to be back, Anina, and it's always great to see you, my friend. And yeah, I definitely think that the time is going by a lot faster because the higher the frequency, the faster the time goes by. So
Ah,
I'm definitely going to take that as a good sign. So, but yeah, it's been a little bit, but not too long. So, but thank you for having me back because I came to, I come bringing good news, my brothers and sisters, all kinds of wonderful
mm,
good news for everybody. And it actually includes South Africa. So I was really, really pleased to be able to share this here with Anina so that we can get this information out there for all of y'all. So
wonderful. I think
yeah.
the audience is always ready for good news.
Hmm.
I love good news stories, so I'm excited to have you on and discuss all these exciting things. So, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, time is definitely speeding up. I feel like there isn't enough time in the day on the one hand. And on the other hand, it's like, okay, let time go by because when we
Yeah.
wake up, suddenly it's going to be the golden age and all the mayhem is going to be over, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely headed into, we are in the golden age, but the beginning of it, where disclosure is happening, and all these technologies is going to be brought out to us to experience. And a lot of it is definitely going to be blowing a lot of people's minds because they're, and the anticipation of something that is good for humanity, like the med beds or technologies to make, construction jobs and so forth a lot easier. It's going to be quite surprising. And I can also say that Trump, I think it was like maybe 3 months ago, he had made an offer to these here car companies that if they build these flying cars to specs, he would give them, 100% tax free on that. And he was going to give them the plans, but they have to go buy it. They can't do anything outside of it. They have to stick within that, and therefore it could be benefiting, humanity within, 3 to 4 years. So I'm looking forward to something like that as well. And
Mm.
the news that I come bearing, my brothers and sisters, is that all of you have heard me talk about my friends Hanai and Kaylin. So hello, Hanai. Hello, Kaylin. They had come to see me and they came bearing good news. And I got so excited about it because I got a green light. Okay. And this was just, I was just so happy about it that I actually wrote a song called Green Light because I got so, excited about the whole ordeal. But that they were telling me that by summer, that Elon Musk is going to be talking about and bringing out these things, these Tesla beds. Okay. And I did not know that Elon had these Tesla med beds, but he has a type of med bed. And yes, it's going to be able to cure cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, and stuff like this here, but it will not be able to grow limbs back or regenerate you. Okay, that is for the quantum med beds because the quantum med beds is all based on your energy, and your frequency and your energy needs to be high enough to match the quantum med bed. Otherwise, it won't function properly. Okay. In other words, when you got a higher frequency and you're a better state of mind, you're just in a happy state of mind, it works a lot better because then there's no fear in that. Okay. So being told that Elon is supposed to come out or announcing these here med beds, these Tesla med beds, by the summer, and that they supposed to be going into hospitals and stuff like this on a regular basis, but I don't know how they're going to do that as far as like, is there a list? How do you get into one of these med beds? Is it going to cost money? Is it going to, have to have insurance? Those are my questions, but I don't have answers to those questions as of yet. But I'm thinking that if Elon is saving all this money for America, well, he's helping people do it all over the world, but we're going to stick with America right now. That if he's saving all this money for us Americans and wants to give it back to us or have so much called surplus, then these med beds should be free because that's a gift back to humanity because the money's already there. Okay, so I'm thinking that that's going to spread out and work all over these other countries as well. Now, I have received emails that has asked me, what about Australia? Will they be in that? What about South Africa? Will they be in that? You have to think about it. You can't put it out in one country without putting it into another country because if you put it in one specific spot like America, then millions of people are going to want to get there to America out of desperation. So to keep that from happening, you keep it all balanced. So you have to have something set up in each country. That keeps everybody from freaking out and having to do things out of desperation. So that's, to my understanding, that makes the best sense to do it all at the same time. That way everybody reaps the benefits and you don't have to leave your country or whatever because there's only one in America, there's only one in Australia, whatever. Okay, that would be very unfair and that would cause chaos that's unnecessary. Okay, so think about it logically, my brothers and sisters. It's all at the same time. Nobody's being forgotten about and nobody's above the other. Now, when it comes to using these med beds, we all know that the worst gets taken care of first. Okay, so if you're not on that worst case scenario, then proudly wait your turn, okay? Because nobody's going to be forgotten about. Everybody's being watched and monitored as we speak, okay? You've heard about the book of life. You know, they're going to show you your entire book of life whenever you pass away. Well, how are they doing that if somebody's not recording everything you do? Okay, so keep that in mind, my brothers and sisters. You are on camera, so to speak. You are the star of your own movie. You are the star. So act like it.
Isn't that just the Akashic records? So whoever can tap into the Akashic records
Yeah.
have all the footage. It's not like
Yeah.
surveillance, you know.
Yeah, it's
People
not like
worry about
surveillance. It's just automatic because God is watching you all the way around you, in, on, and around you. You're being watched. You know, so this is whenever our choices matter. Be conscious that your parent, so to speak, your God Christ is watching you because they're always watching you. We'll always know that. We talk to them.
We
So just
all
be
have a team
aware that
around
they
us.
are.
We just
Yeah.
don't know it or see it
So,
necessarily.
so do everything with a loving heart because that energy of love, it matters now the most, my brothers and sisters. And look how far we've come. And we have gotten to this point and we can only do better. So be glad and proud of your day, your family, your life, anything that's going on. Just try your best to stay in a good state of mind because so many wonderful things are coming towards us. And a lot of people get scared whenever you talk about advanced technology. And that is a free will choice. Okay, I can only tell you to welcome it with open arms, with positivity for it helping all of humanity, not just one singular person. Oh, I got to have this thing and I had to have that thing like a car or whatever, but it's not that. It's for everybody. So keep that love in your heart. And that is what grows that energy for all of us to catapult even faster. So, and
That's very exciting. And I said to Alisa just now, Trump posted not too long ago about a green light. I can't remember if it was Trump or Dan Scavino, one of the two, but it was Trump with a green light next to him. And you mentioned the green light. So literally, it's go time.
it's go time. Yes, it is. And think about that, my brother and sister. When you get that thought, that green light thought out into the field, and you get everybody thinking it, that energy ramps up even more because whatever we're thinking about it, it manifests itself.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that there's the magic. Okay, so we can all be happy about that. Now, and also with this green light, that because I really got excited, was that by the end of the year, we're going to hear, whether it be your government, our government, doesn't matter, it's going to be somebody high up, they're going to say, we're not alone. And whenever they tell us that we're not alone, that's the green light for our star families to make contact with boots on the ground. Because there's so many of us that are here incognito. Okay, so many of us that came here from other worlds to help this world. Okay, so now we'll be able to make contact with our star families. And one of the good things is, my brothers and sisters, is they're going to be using the Tartarians. They're going to be our middle guys, our escorts, okay, our taxis, if you want to call it that. Okay, they're going to be the guys that can walk up to us because they look like us. Okay, they will approach us very easily because they look like humans, you know, and they have stepped in to fill in these roles so that they can do that. Because if you are another race, it would not be a really good thing right off the
It
bat for
would
that
freak out
race
too
to
much.
show themselves. Yeah. So, but as far as like a lot of people disappearing, a lot of these NPCs are going to start disappearing, and it's people won't realize it because the Tartarians have volunteered to come in here and fill in the gaps. So they're going to be around us. There's going to be so many of these Tartarians on the field. And one, they're filling in the gaps, but they're also bringing all that wonderful energy with them. They're going to put on the playing fields so that people can feel that it's going to help raise their vibrations even higher. But as far as them being the ones to make personal contact with you, that is what they have volunteered to do also. And so, I mean, they can just walk up to you and just have a casual conversation with you, just like anybody else. But the difference, my brothers and sisters, now pay attention. So whenever Hanai and Kaylin first showed up at my house, and I had no idea who these people were, okay, but as I approached them, I could feel that loving energy. I could feel that safety, calmness. Everything is okay and welcoming energy, okay? And they have expressed to me to let you know that you'll be able to tell the difference whenever they approach you. Now, they are going to be making contact with you because they will be the ones that's going to take you to make sure you get your missions done, or to the medbeds, okay, the quantum medbeds, okay? And that is going to be one of the clearest things that you can go by, is you will feel that energy like it's just such a flow over you. That's exactly how I felt it. And I had no fear, no worries, and you're able to ask your questions. And that energy keeps you calm and keeps you from freaking out. Like, oh, all kinds of billions of questions. It'll keep you level-headed. Okay, this energy is absolutely wonderful, and I'm very, very grateful that they have let me know that, so that I can share that with you. And knowing that that kind of energy is going to be on the field, it's going to spread very, very fast, and that causes a major domino effect. So just to know
Mm.
that if somebody, just people, just looking like yourself or whatever, if they start approaching you, hey, how are you doing, stuff like this here, trust me, you'll be able to feel the difference. But when it comes to your time to get your appointment or go to your med bed appointment, they will, your star family can make contact with you with telepathy, or they can do it in dreams. Okay, they can do it in music. They can do it in items in your house. Okay, because they're not ready to show themselves physically as of yet, but they can do it in dreams. They can do it in daydreams. Okay, but they will have a Tartarian that is specifically set for you. Okay, and you will somehow get a message from your star family that you will be approached by these Tartarians, and that's whenever you should be on the lookout. Okay, so just know that that energy is going to make the difference, and you won't be able to freak out. That's a wonderful thing about it, because I mean, think about it, if they use this around criminals, they're going to stay calm. They're going to calm down. So I mean, that's how good this energy is. So even in your fear, they will give you that frequency and that love vibration, that you'll know that they are friends and here to help you, not to harm you. Okay. Um, and
That's so exciting.
yes,
Um,
yes, it is.
Now, I have a
You
question
know.
on the Tartarians that you say. So,
Mhm.
uh, is it a case of the holographic NPCs will literally disappear and there will just be new people in their place, which will be the Tartarians? Or will it be like a soul walk-in where the Tartarians will have a walk-in into existing bodies?
No, they're pretty much going to be. Some of them's going to use the mask thing, because that's the same person you've seen, but they don't want you to know that, woo, he's gone. But they're going
Oh,
to have somebody, just like they have the mask on, and the people in the Congress and all of our different government areas and stuff like this here right now, playing these characters. And what they do is they wear these masks. Okay, now the Tartarians are smart enough to do the same thing. They're not gonna, that way they don't bring no harm to themselves, and they're still on a playing field, and they're keeping things flowing normally. Okay, so I'm very, very thankful for that. Now the ones that approach us, to get these appointments, they won't have no mask on. Okay, but we can appreciate the ones that are out there that has helped keeping the playing field looking like the playing field that we're familiar with. But those NPCs can interact more now because they're not NPCs, and they can bring out that energy. Okay, so that's a great strategic plan, on everybody's part. I thought that was fantastic, because they'll be incognito. Certain ones will be incognito too, just like we are with masks. So.
and that's really going to help us because it's just lift the energy all around. And,
Mhm.
um, it's almost like it'll spread like wildfire, right? This positive energy,
Absolutely.
because
Mhm.
it will just multiply in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. It would definitely cause that domino effect. And people will start being able to feel that, whether you go to the grocery store, the
Yeah.
post office, DMV, or anything, because the post office and DMV is like the worst places on the planet. So, and the energy there is just so not friendly, not welcoming, aggravating, stressful. So imagine walking into a place like that and you actually want to be there. You're
Mm.
happy to be there. I mean, that will be the energy change and difference. Okay. Now we have all seen Men in Black. Okay, and there was like that. I think it was the first one, that he walked into the post office and these dudes are all aliens, but they're in disguise. Okay, same kind of thing, my brothers and sisters, which actually did really exist. That's the reason why they were showing us that. But the ones that were playing those roles were bad aliens. Okay, so now all of those characters are being swapped out with good ones. Okay, and the Tartarians and so forth. So the playing field, the energy within itself is going to be so different. And I mean, I can already feel the energy differences.
I was just going to say, I was going to
Yeah.
ask if some of this may have already happened because
Mm-hmm.
it's either me or it's really what it is. But I've noticed in places like shopping, like supermarkets or whatever, where you buy groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I was wondering if this is the place that I live or, but people are friendly and they connect. These are not
Mm-hmm.
NPCs. They look
Right.
you in the eye and that you can connect with them. They're friendly. Even at the post office, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, suddenly the
Yeah.
post office got real people who are friendly and want to help you and actually connect with you.
Exactly. And they're doing this on every level, all the way up to the Congress people, judges, supermarket people, and all they're doing is filling in the gaps and being nice. And it's not just an NPC anymore, just doing something in the scene. They will interact and they'll bring that wonderful energy to you. And it's just going to make it so much more inviting no matter where you go, you know. And I just think that's just I do think that's such a blessing, my brothers and sisters, something that we so needed. And now it's going to be here without even us realizing it. It's going to be on the playing field. And there's going to be people that's actually going to be nice. Imagine that. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. Nice
people
people
enjoy
everywhere.
connecting with one another, they enjoy
Hmm.
helping one another,
Hmm.
and it's just you bring light to each other's day, right? As you go
Yeah.
about your day.
Yeah, because like I was telling you, saying earlier, Anina, whenever you walk in a room or something, you can feel the energy of that room, whether it's good, bad, and therefore we know what that means because we all are familiar with that. So just imagine walking into different places and all of it just feels this wonderful, welcoming energy. It's like everybody's your friend. Everybody is your friend. So.
Hmm. Wow, it's going to be a whole new world. I
Yeah,
cannot
because
wait
that's how
until
I
it
treat it. I
starts.
mean, everybody that I speak to and come across, it's like I haven't met a stranger, because it's my family. And that's how I treat all of you, because you are my family, my brothers and
Yeah,
sisters.
yeah.
And I've come too far to turn back and give up what I have learned and what I have experienced because I'm doing this for all of us. I mean, I still have that question every now and then, why me? But God says because I said yes. So, okay, I accept that role, and I'm very honored to be able to come out here and share this information with all of you because you're that important to me. So, and I love all of you, and we're all going
Mm.
to do this together. And I can't wait to see how all of it plays out on a massive scale because this is what's called the Golden Age and the Jubilee, and nothing can stop this from coming. So, I'm going to tell you, keep your hands inside the rides at all times, my brothers and sisters, but enjoy that ride, okay? Because it's going to be wonderful for all of us. And
Yeah,
I also,
absolutely.
excuse me, but I also wanted to let everybody know in South Africa because one of my
Mm.
major projects is in South Africa. Everybody's familiar with that. Well, they were letting me know to tell all of you, my brothers and sisters, to look towards Robben Island, okay, that you will be able to see ships and stuff coming up out of that water. Okay, and that's part of this closure. Okay, and the frequency is high enough that we're allowed to see it. It's not that, well, we couldn't see it before because our frequency wasn't high enough for us to mentally accept that. But because our frequencies are so high now, they can expose themselves more. And the reason why they were telling me about this is because I have a project down there, okay, in South Africa. So I'm very, very, very pleased to share it with all of you to look towards Robben Island. If you catch anything on video, my brothers and sisters, you send it to me.
Yeah,
You get
please send
anything, you
it to
send it
me
to
too.
Anina, and then she'll get it to me, okay? But definitely
Yeah,
keep an eye out on that because they do have bases and everything else down there. But I do know that their main base that they have there is inside of Table Mountain. So y'all just wave at them. Hey, I know you're there.
yeah.
Let
The
them
other
know that
day,
you're
you know,
aware of
where
it.
the
Yeah.
mountain goes sort of in, but then I
Hmm.
was like, is that an
So, and they
entrance?
do
You
have
know,
a med
they
bed
cloak the
facility in there
entrance.
too. So they have a massive med bed facility in there. So I would
Yeah, you
definitely start
mentioned.
waving at them. Hey, you know. So, but it's just a wonderful information that's spreading all over the world as we know it, and it's not a trickle anymore. The domino has fallen. The green light has been, it's on. So things are going to start happening a lot faster. And the more excitement that we feel, that raises our energy. Okay. But don't get into a point of anxiety, because anxiety or fear puts the brakes on, my brothers and sisters. So try to catch yourself whenever you feel those moments, because anything that causes you fear is a lie. Okay. And we are at the end of that trickle of getting that out of the way. But all of the more good things are coming. So just stay in a positive state of mind, because that helps the betterment of all. So
Yeah. And you know what I've been noticing in Cape Town, all around the mountains, last couple of weeks, there's always clouds over the mountains, not just Table Mountain, but all of the connecting mountains around. I
uh-huh.
just find it very odd. You'll have like blue skies, and then just over the mountaintops you'll have some. I was wondering what were they doing there, you know, working
Well,
there.
it used to be an observation deck where they were watching everybody and controlling the bad guys, where they were controlling the situation. But now they have been overtaken. So now all of it is being done for the good. So, and like I said, I got to go inside of that, and it was just like, it was like a whole town, a city. It was just unbelievable how massive it is inside of that. And to know that they are prepped. I mean, this is real, my brothers and sisters. I would like to bring it up for you now, but they have thousands of these med beds in this place. And to me, my attitude, because you can't get angry or mad when you're in energy, you get logical, okay? So because I love y'all so much, mine was like, well, if they're sitting here, how come they can't be used? How come they're not being used now?
Mm,
That's because I'm fighting for y'all. And they're letting me know that everything has a time and a place to do it, but it has to play itself out. Okay. But at least now I know that they are prepped and they have been ready. And now we got the green light. So let's see where that takes us. And that includes, those that because I'm responsible for 26 quantum medbed island facilities. Okay. So, and I want that to give me the turnkey. I want to go over there, get it open, and let all my brothers and sisters come, because that's my intent. And even I have to still wait on that. Now, I do know that they're all completed. It's 26 islands, 3 ships and 3 seas, and then one underneath the ground here in South Carolina. So, but I do know that they're all up, running, and operational, and ready to open the doors for us to get in there. And I'm being told that that should be happening. That's going to be our catapult for next year. The contact will be made by the end of the year, and then therefore your team or whoever will let you know how things are going on from your perspective. But it's pretty much next year will be our catapult. It's going to be nonstop. So I'm excited for all of that, and I'm sure that I will see quite a few of you somewhere. I'm going to see a lot of you somewhere. So if y'all see me, definitely make sure you say hello. Okay, that's what I would like. So that would make me very, very happy. So
so that's exciting. So you're saying most of these facilities will be underground to begin with, um,
yeah,
right now, and hopefully as they roll out, they will become more visible above the ground,
yeah,
as years
right.
go by.
Well, I mean, there's so many still bad guys on the playing field. Like right now,
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's familiar with these people that are bombing and doing nasty stuff to the Tesla cars and the Tesla dealerships and stuff like this here.
yeah,
Now, imagine that being a med bed facility. See,
yeah.
because they will do that. They will do everything to deter us. That's why they're under the ground, in mountains, under the water, on islands, or on ships, is because of that security, to make sure that none of that happens while you're in the peace of getting your med bed appointment. That just makes sense. It's to secure us so that they can't cause any kind of harm. And as we come out of these things and more of us is on the playing field and people can see that it is true, all of that negativity will die itself out. And those that are causing a lot of the negativity, like I said, those will be replaced by the Tartarians. And therefore, all of that will be gone. It'll just look like these people had a change of heart. Okay. And that's an excellent plan, because you don't want to do it violently. You want to do it in a very natural kind of way that shows that they changed sides, or they had a change of heart or change of mind, and that's a lot better for us to deal with than them being violent. So,
Mm. Because also, I think, a lot of the NPCs get hijacked by
mhm,
entities
mhm,
or chips or whatever.
mhm.
So they kind of take over the body and they use that NPC to carry out certain nefarious things. So maybe, when that all disappears, they can actually, you will see a change in these people no longer being
Exactly. Well,
carrying out.
I seen in a movie where they had an NPC that had a chip in his head, and he didn't know that he was an NPC. Okay,
Mm.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but it had to do with these little aliens in an attic. Okay, but this kid found a remote that the alien had to control the NPC, and he didn't know what it was, but he was messing with it, and the person is freaking out because. And I'm thinking, I wonder how many controls are out there. Maybe we can find some and change that. But it gives you they were disclosing that's how they control them. It's pretty much like a remote car, you know. And now that it won't be anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And also with the clones are being taken care of as well, because it's not their fault what happened to them. They were murdered. That person was murdered and replaced with a clone. And
Yeah.
whenever that chip goes off, fizzes out because the frequency is going to get high enough, whenever that chip just disables itself, God is going to put the soul back in that body with knowledge and vengeance. Because God says, I'm going to take back everything you took from me. And you think the clones are just their lost cause. No, God says they're not a lost cause because He is God. So therefore, those clones will come back and they will change. They will be different. They will be loving, helpful, kind people. God even showed me some of these people that He did this to that were like on death row or gangsters, high-ranking gangsters, and poof,
Yeah.
they had a change of heart. They're like, we're gonna fix this shit, and I think that's fantastic, and that's what's been happening. But as far as like the clones, it'll be at a certain point that the frequency is so high that the chip it's non-compatible with it.
Yeah.
It was
And even
non-functional.
and even people in government, like I think it was Mitch McConnell at some point, you could see he was glitching or his clone was glitching. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like he was actually just went static for like 5 minutes. They
Yeah.
couldn't get him to move. And
Yeah. Well,
maybe
I mean, that's one of our concerns, is because a lot of the Congress people here are clones. I mean,
mm,
how else to be able to control the entire situation? Just make them clones and you control them all, right? So, and they're being swapped out. Slowly but surely, they're being swapped out. Those particular clones are being swapped out, or somebody's got the controller.
and also
Somebody's
what
got the
I've heard
controller.
is that they destroyed all these cloning facilities, which meant they couldn't produce new clones.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So,
So
but
maybe
they
the
do
White
have that
Hat,
technology that they have used it for like certain things for the good guys. Okay, as far as like a double or something like that there, but it's not being used for nefarious reasons. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I did hear that a lot of these clones are they don't their lifespan is not that long because the bodies often
Right.
cannot last that long. Could be
Right.
3 months. Some of the
Mhm.
worst ones could be like maybe 1 week or something,
Yeah. I mean, we've been through what, 5 or 6 Bidens? He
And
kept
a couple of
malfunctioning.
artists and actors. Arthur Roberts, right? Arthur
Yeah.
Roberts to the
Yeah,
stage.
man. Yeah, well, I've had people ask me if Trump is a clone. No, he's not a clone. He's the real Trump, but he does have body doubles, my brothers and sisters, and that
Yeah.
just makes sense with everything that's going on. Why not? Because he can't be everywhere at the same time, and you need to keep him guarded and protected. Especially since they already tried to, take him out. You're definitely going to put those bodyguards out. I mean, the doubles out there and not the original, just for safety purposes. So,
Yeah.
but they're also guarding the body. I mean, the doubles, the body doubles,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't want nothing to happen. Because if something happens to that, then Trump's screwed. Because then his body double got killed. So they're definitely
Yeah. And
guarded.
if
But
it is,
he's
if it happens so
he's in Mount
publicly,
Shasta. Huh?
then let's say somebody blows him up, and then you can't say, well, oh, he survived because even if the body double didn't survive, I mean,
Right.
even it wouldn't work for the story. So even the body doubles need to be protected to control
Right.
the narrative.
Right. Because to us, it would look like that Trump is being secured and bodyguarded very well. Okay.
Yeah.
So that gives us that on the playing field, that we can visually see that. And that's what people want to see, you know. So it doesn't matter if it's not a clone, but it doesn't matter if it's a body double or not. They're playing the role for us to see that he's being guarded and protected for the people. So I think that's fantastic. But I mean, you can tell some of the differences, but I guess it's the angles that they use or whatever, to make it
Well,
still
there's
look
the
like the same
skinny
person.
Trump, there's the overweight Trump, there's the tall Trump. So you have
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things like that about Elon as well. But I do know this is Elon 2.0. Okay, the
Yeah.
original Elon, he does not exist anymore, my brothers and sisters, because he was swapped out with a clone. Okay, but now we have control of that clone. Okay, and he's doing some really good things. And like I said, his chip was already disabled by the technology that was put into it. So God already put the soul back into the body. And look how wonderful Elon is acting. Look how wonderful he's just come out of his shell. People love him. He's getting out there and showing that he has spirit and
Yeah,
gusto
because
for the people.
he looks like there's soul inside of
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it's like you can tell he's alive. He's just not so secluded like he used to be, and he didn't like talking to people, much
Yeah.
less a crowd, you know.
Yeah.
And now he's all out there raising his hand. Yeah, he's definitely a good mood Elon. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I read somewhere that he's actually in Mars, his clone is here. He actually cloned all his assistants as well, because but maybe all of that ended, right? So whatever.
yes,
They probably
because
hijacked
they
that.
wanted to keep those around them that they can control. You know, like the people that are bankers or high up lawyers and stuff like this here, they want to keep them cloned, so to speak, so they can keep control of it. You know, and like you said, some of them don't last very long. You know, um, imagine that we have seen clips of these here clones having glitches, you know, and it and it definitely lets you know, damn, they really are on the field. You know, they really are out there. And but they have to replace them. And a lot of these actors and actresses and singers and stuff like this here, the same thing has happened to them. The person that really, you know, took their time to learn that talent and make it to that point did not realize they were going to end up having to sell their soul. And then whenever they did and realized they did something wrong, they changed their mind. They're like, too late, we got your blood. Nope, you're gone. And now we got a clone that's going to do whatever we tell them to do. So, and that's
Yeah.
pretty sad that they have done that to our brothers and sisters, especially those who really did deserve to have that kind of break, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And we see a lot of I've seen a lot of the celebrities lately. It just doesn't look like the original at all.
no, it's not. It's
It
not.
just like, this is not the same person. I don't care what you say or what surgery you said he had or she had.
Mhm.
It's like the key characteristics, which when you're an artist, you pick those things up in the
Mhm.
face. And they're just completely different. The bone structure is different, everything.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's just it. We can see that difference, so it clicks in our minds. Wait a minute, something ain't right, and we're starting noticing these things. And if you take older pictures and look at the modern ones, you can tell that's just two different people. You
Yeah.
know, this is how dumb they think that we are. But that's all come to an end too. And of course, you know, all of the abuse of drinking the blood of young ones and stuff like that there, that has come to a halt too. And somebody had asked me, well, Lisa, you were talking about whenever we got inside the photon belt, that nothing evil could come in there. You know, nothing can dwell within that beautiful positive light. I said, yeah,
Yeah.
you're correct. They said, okay, well, what about the people that was in the solar system or down here with us? How come we're still seeing all kinds of bad things go on? Well, whenever the star has a bubble and it's called the Oort cloud. It's about 1 light year out, and that's the star's bubble. Okay, and that's what they surrounded. The avians surrounded it with energy ships, and they gave it a force field. Nothing could get in and nothing could get out. Okay, and as it went into the photon belt, the light could go into the solar system because the ships would just go away as it was going in, and the light would come into the solar system, and it would wipe out all of those guys in the solar system like that instantly. Okay. But now you got the guys that are trapped inside here with us. Okay. Now, all of these different races, you know, God called in to help, and they fought all the things that's outside of us. I mean, outside of Earth, outside the solar system, okay, all the way down to right outside the dome. And we're responsible for what's inside the dome. But whenever we got inside the photon belt, all of the ones in the solar system disappeared. And now all of these other guys, these good guys, because we're inside the photon belt, all of these good people from races that had already made it into the photon belt, as now they can come inside the dome. And what they did is they sent some big dogs in here, and they started. You have to think about it like levels underneath us. Okay, it's called Dante's Inferno is a good way to describe it. But there was all these different levels that they had to get to. So they brought in big dogs that can come through that dome. We're talking 15, 20 footers, soldiers, warriors that were sent here, that came in here to help, because there were some big dogs in these tunnels and stuff like this here to take out, and the bunkers and the tunnels all the way down to right above Agartha. Okay, even Agartha had some helping hands in this because they were below them. Okay, and so we had them from below and we had them from above. So and then they came in and they cleared out all of that stuff. It's taken a long time since 2012 to clear out this entire playing field. Okay, but now it's to the surface. Okay, and we are responsible for a lot of this stuff that's on the surface. All of these beings has helped us all the way to this point and cleared it out until it's just now on the surface. And we can see in the news, we can see in these reports, and all of this good stuff is coming out. So that tells you that the bad guys behind the scene has been taken care of. We still got these minions on the field, okay, but the majority ones has been taken out. And it's kind of like, we're down to 10% maybe less than that. But that's going to be taken care of by the end of the year or by the middle of next year. So I'm looking forward to that because it's a green light, baby.
Yeah, that's such good news.
Mhm.
So, what do you think, in your opinion, are we going to see in the next couple of months as this transition from where we currently are to this new wave of existence happen?
Well, I'm definitely being told, tell my brothers and sisters to be on lookout, not just specifically at Robben Island, but they're going to start exposing themselves more and more all over, all over. There's going to be so many people that's going to catch this stuff on cameras that there's no point of watching TikTok. Okay. All right. And because of these here sightings and everything else, it's going to amp up. They're going to be forced to come out and say, we're not alone. Doesn't that make sense, my brothers and sisters?
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout and film it, catch it on cameras, take pictures of it, and just know that it's actually happening because our frequency is high enough that they can start exposing themselves more so that we all are going to say, hey, you have to answer this question. You have no choice but to answer this question, and that's
Yeah.
going to get them to come out and say, okay, all right, they won't do it like this, but I hope they will. We've been liars. And now we're going to tell you the truth. They're not going to do it like that, but they will come out and have to address it and admit that we are not alone. And I'm very, very excited for that. So be on the lookout for that. If you start seeing like visions of beings in your house, I don't want to say ghosts, but I'm going to say something that you could see through. Okay. If you start experiencing something like that, or items showing up in your house that's only familiar to you, okay, or you get in a specific song. If you get a specific song in your head, look up the words to that song because it can give you an answer within that, okay, or these dreams or daydreams or telepathy. If you and don't be scared of it because a lot of people said, the voice of God that can talk in your head and stuff like this here. Trust me, my brothers and sisters, you will know the difference. And all you have to do is ask it a question that only you have an answer to. And if they can't answer that question, then don't listen to it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is your way of telling whether or not it is true or not. Now, pretty much it's going to be positive, but those of you that are worried or scared about it, ask it a question only you know the answer to. If it does not answer you, then it's not good. Okay? So try to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
And
yeah,
as you said, just be willing to say yes. And before you even say
yeah,
yes, maybe ask them to
yeah,
connect with
ask
you.
them.
Say to
Absolutely.
them, say, in your mind's eye, I'm
Hmm.
ready to connect, with my
Yeah.
star family. Please,
Hmm.
connect with me.
That's right.
Just
Yeah,
open
because
the door.
absolutely. If you see one out while you're out and about or whatever, you're in your yard, start dancing. Hey, I'm here. I'm so ready, Let them know your excitement, that you believe it so much that you're willing to do that in your own yard and you don't give a shit who sees you. I'm here. I'm ready. That excitement of welcoming them so that we can make contact a lot faster, because they want to see our joy. Are we ready for this? Are we
Mm,
stable for this? Or will we be able to let them come up to us and be able to be calm about it? The energy is going to help, but here's your chance to think of, what would you say? What question would you ask?
mm,
Here's your chance to have some premeditative time to think about that.
mm,
Okay. Don't pop out and say, well, do y'all eat popsicles on your world? That's a stupid question. Okay.
mm,
Think about some good things that you would like to ask, and just be prepared. And God said to stop waiting, my brothers and sisters. You are not waiting, you are preparing.
mm.
Okay, so the waiting's over. This is prepare time. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm definitely going to keep hyping it up for my brothers and sisters. Feel it. Feel it. If it resonates with you, then feel it. Write it down. Sing while you're cooking. Sing in the shower. Write yourself a love letter. It don't matter, but do something positive to show your good and loving intent for it. Okay.
And also see the signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will drop little breadcrumbs for you. They
Yes.
will have people introduce themselves to you that suddenly open a door or activate you in a certain way. They will
Absolutely.
do those, they will give you those synchronicities. You will meet people, you will see things online, you will, you know, come across
Yeah.
a book that you need to read that's going to open your mind, or whatever the case is. They will start dropping those breadcrumbs. So don't, be very mindful of what's happening around you.
Exactly.
Notice those clues and those hints and those nudges, and they will start multiplying if you do.
Because it's that positive energy and you're welcoming it, and you're putting that positive energy out into the playing field or out into your field. And of course, whatever you put out, it comes back. We're magnets, right? So,
Yeah.
so everybody's got a green light. So now let's get like 3 billion people thinking green light. And
And
imagine, see where
say,
that takes
we
us.
are
Yeah.
ready. Bring it on.
Bring it on, baby. Green light, baby. So. But
Love it.
yeah, it's going to be such a catapult for us on the technologies that are coming out. These med beds, and then the things for like I want to say they're not. It's to cars. They're going to start doing cars differently, but they're still going to have the regular cars. But those who want to purchase these cars, these flying cars and stuff like this here, I'm going to say that's probably 2 years out. You get factories building them for a good 2 years. You can cover everybody, right?
And
Well,
that is why, so I just want to say, Trump
uh-huh.
is now attracting a lot of manufacturing back into the country,
Yes.
getting these car
Uh-huh.
dealerships to invest and build factories again in the US. And that
Hmm.
is for a specific reason, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not going to be building same old cars for very much
Yeah.
longer. They're going to
Well,
be working on new
China
technology.
just launched all of their flying taxis. So
Yes, I saw that. So that's
yeah.
already, I mean,
Yeah, that's
if
already
we
happening in China, my brothers and sisters. So, I mean, it's on its way. So, and I just think it's cool because even Japan is going, wanting to announce that they have one as well, to try to show up the Chinese, I guess, but that's okay as long as their people get it too. But it's going to be fascinating because, I mean, like you're saying, Anina, it makes sense. Why would he be so adamant to bring all of these car manufacturing back into America? And he said, if you build these cars, I'll give you the patent for it, but you have to do it by specs, and I'll give you 100% tax cut if you do it. I mean, that's a hell of an incentive to start doing this. And then next thing you know, you're going to have people going to car lots looking at anti-gravity cars. I think that's fantastic. So,
I cannot wait to have my own little hovercraft.
yeah,
Sometimes when I
man.
sit in traffic, it's like, really? We still have to do this?
Hmm.
So some of us are getting impatient, but just start imagining it and in your mind's eye. See yourself riding on that flying car, and where will you go, and what will the journey feel like, and what will be the view,
Yeah.
Imagine the
I mean, I
views.
got to experience that whenever I went to Tartaria because they do have the flying cars,
Mm,
and they have in these little these little motorcycle look of things. They look something like a jet ski, okay? And
yes.
they're just zip and just zip. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they still have something like a motorcycle because dudes like stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
so that would make them happy. But yeah, they have the mag labs, and they have the flying cars and these little flying taxi shuttles and stuff like this here. And they even have the ones that are like tour shuttles. and they'll take you around the areas, and they're pretty much big, like a bus kind of ordeal. And they're anti-gravity too, and they can take you to see all these wonderful sights. And I'm thinking, wow, I just can't wait for that to come over here, to have all of that technology here. And now I do know that the mag labs that they have underground, they're functional, they work, and they've been there for a long, long, long time. But are they going to give us access to them soon? I hope so, because they're already open and usable. I mean, I'd love to get from, where I'm at on the East Coast and get to the West Coast in 30 minutes. I'd be happy with that. I'll be all right with that. So, and that would also
Absolutely.
help people that you're not bound to just one place for a job. Like
Yeah.
like that. If I had a job in California, I could be there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to worry about that. And that's going to be coming available for a lot of us, as far as like being bound to traveling areas or bound to a certain job because of our area. So,
Mm. There's probably a lot in terms of air traffic control, whatever these things they have to. Who
mhm.
knows? Maybe that's also why a lot of the air traffic controllers came into the news. It's about 2 months ago
Mhm.
when there were all these accidents and crashes. And I mean, it also
Yeah.
starts creating a narrative like these things are not safe
Right. So that's like, we need
anymore.
something better. We need something safer. We want something better. And we put that out there. And of course, that they bring us these, anti-gravity planes, so to speak. We'll welcome them with open arms, or these shuttles, because we'll feel like, well, the irregular airplanes were very unsafe and unstable. We could see it from the news. So let's give this a try. Why not? So,
Yeah. What else is there that we can try?
mhm. Yeah. I'm not too keen on those self-driving cars. Now, I
I
think
was
that's
just
okay
gonna
for some
say,
people, not me.
yeah, I see they're already in the US and that.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't even know they were like a thing, but my brother was in the US over December, and they took a taxi from the airport that was self-driving. I was like, okay, here we are.
Yeah, I don't care for that, until I get to the point where, well, if it's one of the ones that's in Tartaria, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
But
they
over
know what they're
here,
doing.
no, this is like the bottom of the barrel.
But do you think it might just be more dangerous to ride a flying car if
Well, right
they're
now,
going to take
I'm
some
not going to say
training
it's
for humans?
unsafe. It's just that, I mean, I have been in the better version, and you just speak to it where you'd like to go, and it just does its thing, and it's very futuristic looking, and to me, it just felt like safer. That's the only word I keep thinking of. But here, you still got to get through the quirks and stuff, because still people over here are still going to be people. Now, the
Yeah,
Tartarians are very respectful. Okay,
yeah.
it's
They're
not that they don't
responsible,
have
they're
accidents,
respectful,
it's
they
that
know
they're
what they're
far and
doing.
few in between. Here you still have to deal with people making these decisions. So yes, I would definitely trust the Tartarian ones first. But these ones here, yeah, they're going to be pretty cool, because, like I said, that it's going to take a lot of the negativity off the field. And think about it, you bring in these Tartarians, it's got this great energy, and then you bring out this technology. It makes it work and function better, because you take the fear out of the factor. So,
Well, I can't wait to meet these Tartarians.
mhm.
Yeah, and many of them are beyond the ice wall at this stage, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Well, most of them are behind the ice wall at this stage, right?
Uh, well,
Or
there is a lot of them over here, but yeah, the majority of them is beyond the ice wall, and that ice wall is down. Both of the ice walls are down. That 27,000 mile one and that 54,000 mile one is down. But the barriers downwards into the water is there, and that is because it's like a force field, and that is to keep those animals from mixing with this water over here, because they're very, very different. And our water, our fish in our oceans and stuff would become food to these, and that would
yeah,
be detrimental. So those
yeah,
barriers have been put down to keep those oceans separated, because they've been separated for so long, and
yeah,
including the ones on the outskirts, because that's the giants' land. So imagine what's in that water. Okay, imagine what's in
exactly.
that water. So because
Because there's
they
more
eat fish and
oxygen
stuff like
there,
that too. Yeah. So
so they're
you
much
got.
bigger. The people and the Tartarians typically are much bigger as well over there, aren't
So,
they?
and we think to ourselves, think about these here creatures that were the dinosaur sea creatures, sea monsters and stuff like this here. Well, where do you think those some bitches came from? Yeah, think about it.
Yeah,
And that includes like the dragons and stuff. They do exist. They're just beyond now, beyond those or
yeah, yeah,
walls is where they were at. But all of these creatures actually do exist. And like they call it that the giant land because they are giants, you
yeah.
know. So, and you can't go there unless you are escorted or invited there because I mean that would it's not like they're mean now. They're not mean now, but still you're something small to something so very big. So it'd be more like a tour. More like a tour. So,
Yeah.
but
It's
that
so
also with
exciting.
somebody had asked me about that, and I was talking to Honey and Dana. I think no, it was Honey, and that whenever the Anunnaki came here, and these are 15, 20, 40 foot beings, okay, and they came to a world and they met fish eaters because they didn't have cows, chickens, and pigs and stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
they met these very spiritual technological beings. Okay, they could maneuver rocks and stuff like this here because they had the energy to do it. But they were fish eaters. Okay, so think what would the Anunnaki bring to sustain themselves? Sure in hell ain't no cow. Dinosaurs, my brothers and sisters.
hmm,
We are seeing remnants of the food that they brought here from their world. Okay, a lot of it was dumbed down, sized down. They even made us cows and chickens and pigs and stuff like this here. And yeah, but they had to bring their own food here to sustain themselves. Okay, and they put it in the water and they put it on the land. And if you look at these areas that they talk about where these dinosaurs at, they were in certain areas because that would be like their field of cows or their field of fish in a pond, so to speak. But yes, they brought their own food here, and that is going to surprise a lot of people whenever they find out that we have been lied to on such a grand scale that we think the dinosaurs died 65 million years ago. No, they were the food that was brought here to sustain the Anunnaki and the friggin' giants that they created.
mm. And I think they were hunting the dragons as well. That's why the dragons disappeared. They went
Well, the
underground.
ones that went towards the good side, yeah, that they would try. That what they did was the giants, they were their brunt slaves, they're kinetic slaves,
Mm,
labor slaves, because they were big and they could be used for just that. Okay, and the
yeah.
Tartarians were their technological slaves. They made all of this here technology that they could barter or trade with. And we are the cattle, the Pepsis, the commodities. Okay, but it's going to blow people's mind whenever they start realizing that all of this stuff really does exist, and it's very, 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 very fascinating. And the Dragon Island or continent, it's not an island, it's a continent. That you can't go there unless you're invited there as well. But still, dragons are real. Okay, and now that the energy is positive, so is that energy as well as positive. Okay, so I'm just thinking it's just so fascinating to think about the tour rides we can get now.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to get all these different kind of tours. And because they're compliant, the Giants and the Tartarians are compliant, we'll be able to do stuff like that. But as far as that continent that's got the dragons on it, that's pretty much off limits. That's their sanctuary. So,
Mm. So we'll get our dragons back. A
mhm,
lot of people have
absolutely.
dragons like.
And people think about these giant dragons and everything else. You put those dragons on a world that big, it makes sense. You put giants and titans on a world that big, it makes sense. Okay, instead of this. Okay, it makes a lot
Exactly.
more better sense. It helps fills in the gaps for all these fossils that we have found, or these mountains that look like giants. Okay,
Yeah. So
so
you know what? I'll take the dragon, not the flying car.
yeah,
I'll
there you
take
go,
the
the
dragon
dragon.
over the flying car.
Well, if you have DNA connection to those to the dragon or whatever, then yes, you will absolutely be able to go there. Now you can take a guest like me to go there. But if you have a tie to it, then yes, you will be able to go there, and you will have an escort to take you there. If you don't come out of the med bed knowing automatically that's where you're supposed to go, because they're expecting people to go there too. There's a lot of our brothers and sisters that are absolutely supposed to go there, but that's just it. If you don't have that invitation, then you can't unless you were invited, like Anina invited me.
Ah,
Oh, Yeah, but you'll get to see that if you have that tie to it. Any of you, my brothers and sisters, because you got to think about the 4D wars. Whenever the 4D wars happened, there was dragons and fays and fairies and dwarfs and orcs and all kinds of things, good and bad, on the field, right? Well, they died. Well, all of those souls got recycled, and now you got dragons running around in human bodies. Okay?
Yes.
So they want to go back home. They know it in their system, or they know they were a dragon rider or a
Yeah.
dragon trainer, okay?
Yeah.
Or they had a best friend that was a dragon because they were a
Mm.
fae or whatever. These things, they will come to the surface. And if you have that tie, then yes, you will absolutely you'll be called there. You'll know that's where you're supposed to go. Because they still need our help too,
Yeah.
and what better to do that than those who have all this experience,
Yeah.
you know?
And everyone have all different connections.
Mm-hmm.
Some have more connections with the dragons, and we all have connections with different. So we all have to embrace what is meant for us and what is
Right.
connected to us, and not
Right.
wanting to be different and have that instead of that, because humans can be like that. It's like, but I want a dragon too. No, but you were meant to be XYZ. And
Mm-hmm.
we all have our star connections, and I'm talking about all the people that are awake and aware and know that they are
Yeah.
here on some sort of mission, not perhaps knowing exactly what that is yet,
Right.
but
Well, I
desperate to
mean, they
connect
do
back.
have dragon riders and stuff, but you don't see them like flying over Tartaria or anything. They pretty much stay in their area, but they still have such a large, vast area that it wouldn't bother anybody. So, yeah, I mean, you can definitely come fly over one of my islands, Anina. With
I'll
your
come pick
dragon,
you
that'd
up.
be fantastic. Like the Dragon Island one, Amma Island, you can definitely come fly over that one if you got me to see me talk about that with Honey. That was really, I mean, that's just so phenomenal to see something like that, and it actually exists. A geode that is 2.5 by 4 by 3 miles. That is just phenomenal, mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. So,
Wow.
mm,
Oh, I can't wait for everything that we will discover.
hmm yeah, there's
All
so
the
much more
lands
to our
being,
world than have been told. So,
yeah. And I was just saying the other day, the best thing is you can travel to all these amazing destinations. And I love to travel. It's like one of the things that
yeah,
really, you know, feeds my soul. So you can
yeah,
travel to all these amazing places, but you don't have to stand in queues. It's not going to be
right.
like buses full of people,
hmm
because the lands that we'll be able to access so much bigger than what we have now.
hmm
So
Yeah,
they'll never be crowded in certain places because there's so much for
yeah,
everyone.
exactly. They wanted us to think that, we had to be in these little groups or these cities because there's not enough and all this kind of, and they're always keeping us in that mindset of lack and not enough and everything else. And
Yeah.
and it expands out so much, my brothers and sisters. Think about 100,000-mile circle of all kinds of shit. Instead of it just being our little 25,000-mile around planet, as they call it. But I mean, it's so out there. There's so many more just destinations that we'll be able to go to. And that's not just on the surface. Think about the things we get to go underground and see.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal because there's entire cities and worlds that are below our feet.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So, and they've got a
Agatha
lot of
and
different beings, different looking beings that are underground because they can go down there and do all kinds of good stuff without being the fear of somebody freaking out. So we do have a lot of our star families that don't look human that are actually underground, not just on ships. That way, it's like I want to get off the ship and I want to walk around on something, so kind of thing. So, but yeah, they're below us and above us. So it's going to be phenomenal. I'm looking so forward to it. So.
mm,
uh,
can't wait. So hopefully from next year onwards, it'll be like the doors will be open. We can start
yeah.
interacting and getting used to the fact that, we have all these star families and be open to them.
Right. And I do hope that, your government in Africa starts making some major changes. I do know that they're doing that.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anybody make a major change like what Trump is trying to do over here. But I am told that everybody's going to follow suit. And these tariffs that he put out is what's going to make that happen. And
Yeah.
that means these other countries also is going to be, start doing the same thing similar to Trump for their countries and their
Yes.
people. So, and I think that's fantastic because now the dominoes drop and it's all happening. So sit back
Yeah.
and enjoy the ride. Get your popcorn. So,
Yeah. And Trump's put a spotlight on South Africa, and just showing really how corrupt this government is. It's as if we didn't know, but I mean, really putting a spotlight on it and actually kind of forcing out the current administration and forcing them to resign.
Yeah,
That's kind of what
exactly.
we're going to be seeing. So it's happening. And I don't recommend getting involved in every single detail because on the surface it can be frustrating and it can be messy. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, I know it's going in the right direction. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to like suddenly panic and flee the country. No, it's not going to be like that. It will be
Right.
a controlled takedown of sorts. And,
Hmm.
this is happening in 170 plus countries worldwide. Like,
Yeah,
no one will be left behind. Like,
that's a fact.
when they remove this cabal, they've got to remove it everywhere because they
Mhm.
can't leave any kind of cesspool unattended because that'll just grow again into a big, you know.
Right. Well, they brought in these energy beings, and I know one of them is the Skyers. Okay. And they're absolutely phenomenal energy beings, and they're very feminine energy beings. And they were asked to come in to help clear out these dark spots, if you want to call it that, so that it can be used again. A lot of it will be recycled and reused because it will be cleared, but then there will be certain areas that will not be because that's for God to take care of. Now, God will clear that area, but because it's so intense. But there's these beings that are the Skyers that are coming in and going through all these different areas and cleaning out that energy. And they have been really focused on like the dams, because a lot of these evil bunkers were built under these dams, and then the water flowed over that dam and collected that negative energy and took it down into the waters. So they were been working very hard on clearing all of that energy, which is pretty much done. But the dams aren't supposed to be there. They're very unnatural. And
Mm,
going forwards, a lot of these dams will be removed. And because we have beings that control the water, it will not hurt anybody. It just will redirect it to where it's supposed to go without a dam. And it'd
yeah,
be more beneficial to a lot more people. So why stop that water whenever it's supposed to flow? That's their thinking. You're not supposed to stop that water from flowing, and you're surely not supposed to build your house on a railroad track. Okay, so they're taking care of all of these things for us, and I think that's fantastic with the cleansing of the energy. So thank you, my Skyer friends. And they're the butterfly-looking people. They're really, 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 really beautiful. They're probably about 7 foot tall, and they're elongated, and they have wings, but they go down like a bird's wings. But whenever they pop them up, they have the shape of like a butterfly, and that's why I call them the butterfly people. And but they're actually called Skyers, and they're turquoise colored people. Okay, and the females are light turquoise on the front, and the men are dark turquoise on the front. That way you can tell the difference of them. But they're absolutely with this phenomenal energy that they can just come in and clear out an area like that with so much love. So, and they're beautiful beings to boot. So,
mm,
mm,
beautiful. So
yeah.
many different species and races that we've never heard about that
Hmm.
we're going to be coming across in the next couple of years.
Yeah, because I definitely wasn't expecting that. And whenever I got to see it, it was just like, wow, that's so beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, like, that's so beautiful.
Now, if you think about, they talk about bees and the vibration that they create through their
Ah,
wings.
yeah.
I'm guessing with these beings, it's also the vibration that the wings can actually create that can lift the vibration of the area that they're in.
I didn't
One of
necessarily see them flapping their wings other than
uh,
whenever they're flying, but it's more like gathering in a circle or focusing that energy towards a wall, a floor, or something like this here, but they do it in a group. Okay, but yes, their wings will move, but they're not flying. So they're flickering. You got a point. That vibration must be doing something to the walls or the floor or the ceiling, whatever. But it's not like a
sounds like a
hummingbird
bee.
kind of flapping. It's just
Yeah.
more of a flapping kind of vibration. But yeah, so I guess I didn't think about that. But yeah, you're correct. That would be putting out that vibration like a bee does. So yeah.
I always wondered what is the purpose of wings, like an angel, for example. Um, and then I thought maybe that's just a toroidal field actually around that person
Yes.
that we see.
Well, whenever I know people have done drugs and they can see the trailing, okay? But think about that person coming towards you and giving you that kind of trailing look. It would make it look like they have wings, okay? And that would definitely make it look like it's flapping or vibrating of some sort. But yeah, that energy is coming towards you, and you can see it as it expands out. So some of them don't even have angels. Some angels don't have wings, but the ones that do, I have noticed that as they're coming in, you can see that trailing effect off of them. So it's like they're whooshing in when they're
Mm,
actually not.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
One last question that I want to get your opinion on. So, the markets are crazy right now. I mean, the stock markets are all down, lowest since it's been 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we're seeing big things happening in China, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, Singapore, the whole sort of Far East, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks to me like things are underway to kind of clear out a lot of these, what do they call them? Insider trading, which we know most of Congress are guilty of as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're probably going to see some sort of big shakeup in the financial system before the new one kind of pops in, the QFS, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, do you think that people will, bondholders, for example, will get certain funds and that will be able to start projects in the background while this financial fallout happens over the next couple of months?
Yes, I do think that that is a high probability because that is something that's already been in the making. If you now, I don't know what kind of bonds you may have, but that could
Like
be
Zim
the
bonds, for
Zim
example.
bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, this currency stuff is going to happen, my brothers and sisters. That's still a real thing. Okay, that is going to happen, but it's all has to be done in perfect timing. Now, if we catapult by the end of the year, we're not alone kind of ordeal. But whenever these projects starting, yes, all those bonds is going to come into play. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But just don't brag about what you have.
Well, exactly. It's got to be
Yeah.
very subtle happening. So it's almost like the humanitarian projects will start rebuilding
Hmm.
new things while the collapse is underway.
Yes,
Sort of
absolutely. Because it'll
like you
bounce
can't
out.
say too
Like I
much
said,
about
the
it.
Tartarians are coming on the field, so things don't look like they're dropping or getting collapsing. So the same thing with that. And what we're seeing in the stock market is we're seeing the change. Okay, and it's going to come down before it goes back up. But we have to witness that. Oh, it's going down, and then boom, because of the energy, it's going to pump up out. They definitely know what they're doing, but it has to be reset. And the only way they can reset it is for it to come down and then bounce back up instead of turning it off and then turning it back on.
Yeah.
Okay. So because it is a progression, but everybody that is dealing with that is in control. You got to remember that we were overtaken by these bad guys, in all of these top position kind of ordeal. Well, now we have overtaken them. Okay, and the role is being played out so that we can visually see it. Okay, see the proof of it, or whatever is happening, so that we can absorb it better and go with the changes as it's changing. But just don't get freaked out about it. Just understand that it's a change under the way. Just like all these blackouts that happened all over the world, they were expecting one major blackout. They did, no, we're not going to do that. So they just did sections at a time to reset things. Okay, and that way you don't have to worry about people being harmed in that larger spans. But the same thing with the stock market and the World Trading Center. All these things are coming into play, and we're seeing it actually happening and changing. So keep it in a good positive mindset, because as long as you're positive, then it's going to be positive. So
Yeah, just know it's all going to work out for the best.
mhm.
No
Yeah,
fear. Just be excited about this new chapter. It's all
yeah,
good.
absolutely. So
Short-term pain for long-term gain.
yeah, that's right, man. It's like we all been waiting for so long for something tangible, something we could touch, smell, taste, be a part of, walk upon. I mean, I understand that. I hear a lot of you talk about that. You just want to be able to experience, like something I did. I got to walk on these islands. I got to
Yeah.
drink some fruit tea there. That made it very, very real to me, because it is. So I would love to be able to give all of that to my brothers and sisters to experience. So, and what I'm being told of that is what's going to be happening. So just remember, you're not waiting, you are preparing. And please, by all means,
Exactly.
I don't like this word, but I have to use it. Please be patient. I've heard that word enough.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear it no more. So,
And if this all happened 2 years ago, we wouldn't have grown and evolved the way we did over the last 2 years. It was necessary.
Mm.
So just trust that whatever is happening is for your and the collective's highest good.
Yeah. Oh, and they talk about these NPCs, and that was something that me and Honey was talking about. That um, with Elon Musk, he said that he found 25 million people receiving Social Security that doesn't even exist. They're called ghosts. Okay, so but to us on our senses and stuff, these people were real. So, and just like that, he got rid of 25 million NPCs.
Yeah, exactly. And what will the
Exactly.
population numbers be? Very soon
Mhm.
they're going to announce it ain't 350 million in the US or whatever it was. I
Yeah.
think it's 350 million. It's going to be
So
more like, maybe under 300 million. Who knows?
yeah, and there was
And it's the
what
same with the
a
rest of
million
the
and a
world
half
as
of
well.
government people that didn't even exist, government workers that didn't
Yeah,
even exist, over a million.
thousands and
Just like
thousands.
that, we got rid of another million NPCs. So, and I want people to pay attention to that. If you start hearing these announcements of all these people getting fired and all this kind of good stuff, well, they're just getting rid of the NPCs, the people who don't count, who don't or are not real. But they were collecting money. So
Yeah. All these
and just
people
like a
don't
lot of
know
these
the details.
illegals, they were saying that there was 85 billion dollars that was put out to these illegals. Well, I mean, a lot of it, yes, they were claiming it was that, but that's not true because they only brought in like 10 to 15 million of these people, but they were saying that they brought in 30 so that they can claim that money. So now those
Mhm.
people have been wiped out, and there's another 15 million people, NPCs, just like that, gone. So pay attention to my brothers and sisters. It's happening.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Beautiful. Love it so much. So we thought it would be a great idea to leave you guys with Elisa's brand new song, Green Light,
Yeah.
because she was so excited about the green light that she wrote a song. And it's green light for go. So we're going to play it out as we leave you guys. But thank you so much. Elisa, is there anything else you want to share before we do?
Yes, my brothers and sisters, as always, remember you are everything that you see, no exception. So be kind to it. And I love you.
Yeah, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, even the NPCs.
I got a green light, I'm ready to go. I feel the rush, I gotta go. I know what I know, it's out of control. So let's get ready, I'm ready to go. 'Cause I got a green light, let's go. I'm gonna start this show, the show. Can you see it? Oh yeah, we got to go. You gotta move it, so get to grooving. There's no illusions, it's time to move. I got 1 foot out the door, I'm not waiting anymore. My excitement's off the charts, I'm so ready for my part. We can go through the night, I've been waiting for the light. This feeling is unreal, they finally made a deal. But I know that I like it, I'm out of control, it's time to go. 'Cause I got a green light, let's go. I'm gonna start this show, the show. Can you see it? Oh yeah, we got to go. You gotta move it, so get to grooving. There's no illusions, it's time to move. I got 1 foot out the door, I'm not waiting anymore. My excitement's off the charts, I'm so ready for my part. Let's go. 'Cause I got a green light, let's go. I'm gonna start this show, the show. Can ready for my party.